Chapter 31. No Chance. I'm in history between Jake and Rebecca. All the class are talking while Mr. Keats is trying to sort a problem on the projector. I've been thinking what to say to Jake about him getting Grandad and me back together, but if I say the wrong thing, he'll say I'm soppy. I'm just glad he did, because I played chess again all day and Mum and Dad were so pleased that they let us play another hour in the evening while they watched Dragon's Den. We played so long that the chessboards were back on my bedroom walls when I got home, and on the insides of my eyelids when I went to sleep. Mr. Keats tells us the projector problem should be sorted in a couple of minutes. Jake scuffs his shoes on the floor. Rebecca opens her eyes wide at me. "Go on," she mouths. "Tell him now." I take a deep breath and lean towards Jake. "Thanks for getting me and Grandad back together," I mumble. "It's okay," Jake mumbles back. "We're cool. Even if you did break my nose in a zillion places." "I did not." Jake looks up and grins. "Maybe not, but it did bleed a bit." "That was a zit," says Rebecca, leaning across. We all laugh. "Well, I'm glad you two got that sorted," Rebecca says, beaming. She seems as happy that we are friends once more as she is with her joke. "Maybe you can concentrate on chess again now." "I already am," I say. "I've started seeing chessboards everywhere." "What?" says Rebecca. "I see chessboards everywhere." "So can you see them now?" "Yes." "Amazing." "No, not amazing. When I woke up this morning, they were on my bedroom walls, and when I went downstairs, they were on the fridge, the kitchen table, the front door, the road and the pavement, and they were on the back of buses as I walked to the school. My Grandad was supposed to make a few tweaks to help my work, but the boards are getting in the way." I nod at Mr. Keats, who is talking about how the First World War started. "Tell me, what do you see on the whiteboard?" I ask Rebecca. "A picture of Archduke Ferdinand," she whispers. "See, I can see a rook sliding from H2 to H6 to take a knight." Rebecca puts her hand over her mouth. "Well, I'd love to have that," she says, "but it must be annoying if you're trying to watch TV." "I don't know," I say. "I've been playing so much chess, I don't get time for TV." "You should tell Mr. Keats he'd love to have—" "What should you tell me?" Mr. Keats is standing right in front of us. "Nothing, sir," I say, glancing at Rebecca like don't say anything. "He's turning into a chess nerd." Jake jumps up. "What?" Mr. Keats looks at me. I nudge Jake under the table, but all that does is nudge more words out of his mouth. "Yeah," he says, "some people see ghosts. Felix sees chessboards. Nowhere near as exciting, just weird." I knew I shouldn't have told you. "What?" Jake grins. "I'm just saying." Mr. Keats smiles. "Well, it's good to see you two are friends again, but let's get on with some work." I pick up my pen and glare at Jake. Then Mr. Keats leans between me and Rebecca and says, "If he's really seen chessboards, take him to chess club at lunchtime." "Ha," says Jake, "there's no chance of that." "Felix, don't do it. Don't, I beg you. It'll be like getting on an alien spaceship and they'll fly off and turn you into one of them. You'll be like Miss Dr. Banner turning into the Incredible Hulk. Only you won't turn back into a normal person. You'll be stuck as a monster. It'll be like a step to nerddom." "Jake," I say, "this is for real. I'm not turning back this time." I'm standing outside the library with my hand on the door. Jake puts his hand on my shoulder. "Please, Felix, no, I'm begging you." Rebecca pushes the door open and looks back at me. "Come in," she asks. I nod, then step into the library. "Felix, please." Jake's voice fades away to another planet. My heart is beating fast while my feet feel like they've moved in slow motion. But I'm ready for this. Jake and Rebecca are walking beside me, but somehow I feel like I'm on my own. In silence, I pass the lone desk. Chris, Tom and Leah, the members Rebecca told me about, have got their heads turned to the table as they take all the chess pieces out of the wooden boxes and place them on the boards. It's so quiet, all I can hear is my breath and my feet skimming over the carpet. Jake says it's a step to nerddom, but it's not. It's a step to doing something I want to do, something I love doing with Grandad, something that will make us both proud. "If you want a book, you'll have to come back later." I stop dead. A boy with dark hair and glasses gets up and looks at me like I'm an alien. "I don't want a book," I say. "Are you rich?" "Yes," he says, "but what do you want?" I nod at the other kids with their heads down. I want to play chess, I stammer. He doesn't really. Jake's followed me in and now has hold of my arm. He's joking, aren't you, Felix? No, I say, I want to play. Rich glances behind at all the others who are now looking right at me. Rebecca nods at me like she's willing me on, but I suddenly feel so small, like I've walked out at Wembley Stadium on my own. Part of me wants to turn away, but a bigger part keeps my feet superglued to the floor. Rich turns back to me. We don't have any spaces left, he says. You do, I say. You need new members. I read it on the notice board. That's an old message, says Rich, and besides, we don't want troublemakers anyway. I'm not a troublemaker, I protest. You are. I've seen you go into the isolation room loads of times. I don't get sent there because I cause trouble. Well, you don't get sent there to play chess either, does he? Rich smirks at Tom as he returns to his seat. He thinks I can't play. They think I can't play. They think just because I get sent out of class, I'm dumb. Rebecca says something, but I'm too annoyed to hear. I step towards Rich and stop right by his table. I said, I want to play. Ha, are you still here? Rich leans back in his chair with his hands on his head like he owns the library. Okay, he suddenly says. You can play me. He nods at his friend to get up. Felix, I am thinking this is not a good idea. It is very early. It's okay, Grandad, I think to myself. I've got this. I sit down opposite Rich, who's already lined the chess pieces up on their squares. I didn't think I'd have to play the captain of the chess club, but I have to start somewhere. I glance up at Rich. It feels weird having someone other than my granddad sitting opposite me, telling me what to do. Suddenly, it's like there's no one else in the room. It's just me and Rich. My heart beats quickly and my hands start to sweat. I wipe them on my trousers. Rich picks up 2 pawns, one white, one black, and hides them behind his back. I choose his right. You're white, he says. Your first move. I know, I reply. Well, that's a start, Rich says with a smirk. I take the white pawn and put it on its square. Rich touches the top of each of his chess pieces like he's doing it for luck, but then I see he's moving them a millimetre so that each piece is sitting exactly in the middle of its square. When he's finished, he looks at his watch. 35 minutes, he says, and then reaches across the table. For a moment, I think he's going to punch me, but his hand stops over the board. I look at it, then realise he wants me to shake it. It's like he thinks he's playing in the World Championships. I've never shaken anyone's hand. Well, just Jake's, but that was ages ago in the tree when we pretended to cut them and be blood brothers. Rich will never be my blood brother, but one of Grandad's rules was to always shake your opponent's hand. I reach out and do it. There was something else I should remember now, but I can't think what. Rich stares at me. I stare back. Ah, that's it. Rule 4, don't stare at your opponent. Rich's face breaks into a grin like he's won before we've started. He thinks I'm useless, just like everyone at this school. Well, what if he's right? What if I'm about to embarrass myself in front of everyone? I stare at the board, try to remember what all the pieces are, all the things that Grandad wrote on the list. But after days of seeing squares and numbers, my mind is suddenly blank. I take a deep breath, then another. It's your move, says Rich. I know, I say, I know. I can feel Rich staring at me, waiting. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Jake standing by the door and Rebecca and the others have stopped playing. They're all watching and waiting for me to make my first move like a multi-eyed monster. I pick up the pawn and move it to e4, then sit back. Rich moves a pawn to c5. I stare at the board. My heart is beating fast, but my brain feels like it's stuck in syrup. I move a knight to f3. Rich moves a pawn to d6. He's moving too fast. We make 4 more moves. Each time it takes me 2 minutes, but he only takes 2 seconds. The squares on the table start to throb every time my heart beats. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't be here. I close my eyes, hoping I can see a chessboard and the numbers, but all I see is black. It's like someone has locked me up in a cupboard and turned off the lights. It's your move. Rich folds his arms. My blood thumps through my body. My mind has gone blank, like someone has picked up a whiteboard cloth and wiped away the chessboard in pieces. I have to do it. I have to do it for Grandad. I reach for a chess piece, but I can't remember its name or how it moves. My face begins to burn. I thought I could do this, but I'm going to feel like I always do. My throat is closing over and my body is shaking. You want to see my move? I hear a voice. My voice trembling. That's the idea, Rich says, grinning. I stand up and lean over the board. The others are still watching, but their uniforms are a blue blur. Well, this is my next move, I say, gulping for breath. This is my move. I lift my arm and smash all the pieces off the board. Rich sits open-mouthed. You idiot, he says. I was going to beat you. Well, you won't now. Oh no, Rebecca holds her hand up to her mouth as I storm off. Oh my God, brilliant, Felix. Jake beside me laughing. Amazing, Felix, totally amazing. He grabs my arm. Now run.